Positional versatility is important, but I'm not sure this is what anyone had in mind last year. Catcher, Ben Rice. There's a difference between playing catcher and being a catcher. Although Ben Rice has caught nearly 1,000 innings in the minor leagues, prospect evaluators see him more in the first base/DH mold, which is why the one inning he caught for the Yankees at the end of a blowout win over the Blue Jays might age hilariously if he's able to establish himself in the bigs. It might not look like much now, but this has Kyle Schwarber catching or Josh Donaldson potential. Maybe not quite Carlos Santana though. He actually caught over 300 games in the big leagues. Honorable mention, Tyler Soderstrom. Similar situation. First base, Jose Siri. This is as good as it gets. When you have a chance to play your elite defensive center fielder with a career 266 OBP at first base for the first time as a professional, you just have to take it. After pinch running for Yandy Diaz, Kevin Cash hoped to replace him with Brandon Lau at first base, but Lau was the designated hitter, meaning they'd have to forfeit the DH late in a close game to make that move. The last man on the bench was backup catcher Ben Rortvedt, so Jose Siri to the rescue, I guess. He had to borrow the first base glove, but apparently he frequently takes grounders in practice. He even made a put-out look routine like a normal first baseman would. Maybe the Mets want him as their Pete Alonso replacement. Honorable mention, nobody. Second base, Connor Wong. Connor Wong is a catcher, but that's not all he is, the same way I'm a baseball YouTuber, but also a lover of long walks on the beach and curling up with a good book on a rainy day. Our jobs don't define who we are. Stop trying to shove Connor Wong in a box. Connor Wong can be whatever he wants to be. Wong has cameoed around the field in his big league career, but this was the first year he got a start at second base. He played every inning of the Red Sox 2-1 loss to a famously gritty second-half Tigers team, but what's grittier than a perfect fielding percentage at second base? Honorable mention, Matt Carpenter. He played his fair share of second base in his younger days, but still weird to see a DH playing an up-the-middle position. Third base, Sal Frelick. Sal Frelick is an outfielder. More specifically, he's a gifted center fielder trapped on a team with other gifted center fielders, meaning he has to play mostly right field instead, unless, of course, he's getting 4 innings of work at third base for the first time in his professional career during a random regular season game in April. Bonus points for this one because it might just happen again. The Brewers had primed him for it in spring training, but this was the only game his hot corner dreams came to fruition. The dream isn't dead though. As Brewers manager Pat Murphy said last October, Frelick to third, he was making great progress. It's on the table for sure. Honorable mention, Mark Canha. What are you doing over there, you stupid liberal? Shortstop, Spencer Steer. The Reds have liked to move Steer around, but this is probably taking it a little too far. Elly De La Cruz played almost every inning of shortstop possible for Cincinnati in 2024, but when he was lifted in a blowout game, it was Spencer Steer time. He had a busy 3 innings, recording 3 assists, proving the adage true. If you don't want the ball to come to you, it's coming straight for you. Honorable mention, Ketel Marte. He stood there for an inning. Left field, Aaron Judge. Here's the thing, when you're Aaron Judge or a player of Aaron Judge's quality, you pretty much get to pick your spot and make the team adjust around you. That wasn't the case in 2024. Judge accommodated Juan Soto by playing most of the year in center field, but another quirk was the occasional appearance in the left. A right fielder playing some left field isn't that weird. They're both corner outfield spots after all, but Aaron Judge playing left field is weird because he's never done it before. Most of his playtime in left came in front of Baltimore in Camden Yards, while Alex Verdugo was on the paternity list. Honorable mention, Connor Wong. He's already on here at second base. Center field, Charlie Blackmon. Charlie Blackmon played a lot of his career in center field, probably too much if we're being honest. He was the Rockies' everyday center fielder as late as 2018, when the not-so-rangy outfielder was still asked to cover the most ground anyone has to cover in MLB, thanks to the dimensions of Coors Field. His 1 inning in center was nothing more than a throwback at the end of his excellent career. Honorable mention, Tyler Wade, I guess. Right field, Kevin Kiermaier. There exists a defensive spectrum. The hardest, and thus most valuable outfield spot to play is center field, and the recently retired Kevin Kiermaier is one of the best defensive center fielders ever. When you have a player like Kiermaier, there is no reason for him to play anywhere else on the field. His value is derived from a platinum glove at a premium position. There couldn't possibly be anyone more equipped to play center than him on any given roster, unless you're the Toronto Blue Jays and you also have Dalton Varsho, who leads all outfielders in outs above average the last few years. Because of this, Kevin Kiermaier played a position other than center field for the first time in a decade. Honorable mention, Eloy Jimenez, who should never play the same position as Kevin Kiermaier. Designated hitter, Brandon Crawford. Listen to me, Brandon Crawford. You should have never made me look at you in a different uniform. You should have preserved your one-club man status. You should have never ruined your baseball reference page. You had nothing left in the tank, and you still decided to ring chase with a team that was never going to win a ring. And you know what? You already have a ring, and you didn't even make it through the year. Historically, glove-first shortstops with a .544 season OPS don't tend to DH, but that's what Brandon Crawford did on July 3rd for reasons unknown. And I know I've been harsh, but he did get a hit. He gets credit for that. Now let's just pretend this never happened. Go home and be a family man. Honorable mention, Shohei Ohtani. He's a pitcher. Pitching is tricky for this list. Position players pitching can be fun, but it's common. Relievers starting could also be fun, but openers are somewhat common as well. So instead, here's 5 pitchers you might be surprised pitched in the big leagues at all in 2024. Former Cy Young winner Dallas Keuchel started 4 games for the Brewers. Johnny Cueto, still hanging around, started 2 games for the Angels. Julio Teheran, meanwhile, started a game for the Mets. Carl Edwards Jr. of 2016 Cubs fame made 1 appearance for the Padres. And finally, Dinelson Lamet, remember him, made 3 appearances for the Dodgers in April and even picked up a save. Congrats on the ring. That's the team. Use code FOOLISH on SeatGeek for $20 off your first purchase. Bye-bye.